hold up, listen. Bing, bang, boom with my life. Zing, zang, zoom was a night unforgettable. Tang, tang, loom, illuminating you for the rest of your life. Life, life. Bing, bang, boom with my life.
Welcome back to Basics. I'm sitting here with the one and only Cece the Mamacita.
Hey, how's it going? CC935K-Day, we are here. It's a vibe.
You're going to recognize this voice if you don't recognize the face, okay? It's the voice of L.A.
I appreciate that.
And you've been the voice of L.A. for a long time. Can we talk about early days, though?
You want to talk about like early days in my career,
Yes.
or early days in K-Day?
No, let's talk about Cece.
Okay.
K-Day gets enough promo.
We love K-Day, yes.
Absolutely. But, Cece, when do we start? How do we get there? When do we arrive to be this?
21 years ago. I've been in radio for 21 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so and I started out in the IE. I moved to Vegas. I did radio there for 5 years. Then I moved back. And then I did radio at K-Day. And then I left K-Day and I actually went to, at the time, if you remember, it was called Latino 96.3 before it was Mega. I went there for a while. And then I went to Atlanta for 1 week because I thought I was going to be doing a radio show in Atlanta. And then K-Day called me and asked me to come back. And since I'm born and raised in LA, I was like, I got to go back home, bro. So I came back home and I came to K-Day, and this is where I've been ever since. I did a small stint, about 2 years at Power 106, which was dope. But K-Day's my heart. I'm from LA, so this is my culture. So I just wanted to go back home. So I've been at K-Day.
I always felt there was a competition between K-Day and Power 106. Am I wrong for that?
Yes.
Oh,
because
you're wrong, Koncept.
No. You know what it is that K-Day, we play like the Tupacs, the Dre's, the Alcoholics, the Soul Assassins,
sure,
the Jay-Z's. And Power plays more of like the new hip hop. So it's really different.
What I meant by competition is these are the two radio stations you're going to turn to if you want to listen to hip hop in general.
Perfect. Yes.
Right? So to me, it was a Power 106 if I want to listen to the newest shit. K-Day if I want to listen to the classics, and it takes me back to that vibe.
But you know what's so crazy is a lot of people are like, oh, I thought K-Day and Power were beefing. We're owned by the same company.
Oh,
so it's our sister station.
You just ruined the
whole. I ruined
everybody.
I ruined everybody's perception.
Yeah.
No, everybody thinks that they're like, oh, you guys are beef. No, we're owned by the same company. We see each other in the hallways. If I'm going to go order food, I'll ask them. If they're gonna order food, they'll ask me.
So then there's no Pepsi, Coke,
Nope.
Blood versus Crip type beef between you guys. You
Nah,
guys are all love.
All love.
Okay,
Absolutely.
That's what's up. How difficult though has it been? Do you think from being a female to carrying a show to pretty much being the face of the station? That you got to face different. Okay, this is what I'm saying. So like you had like Howard Stern, you had like Adam Carolla, you had like Tom Likas, you had these legendary radio, all male, right? All male dominated. You are one of the few
Very few females
who has been able. You and the lady from Coast. What's her name?
Ellen K.
Ellen K. from Coast.
I know her too. Yeah.
So has it been difficult? Is it as tough as one would expect it, and why?
I think it is, especially the genre that I'm in, because it's hip hop. So hip hop could be really gully, very raw. It could be kind of in your face, And so being a female in hip hop, you just have to move a little bit more differently. And I do, and I think that's why I have longevity and I have the respect that I have, is because I move with integrity. And I think that's what it is, And it is hard because in the beginning, people would ask me like, oh, you're at K-Day? And there's a 1580 AM K-Days. That's where we originated from. That's why we say the legendary K-Day, because we are the first hip-hop station in the country, because we started at AM.
Interesting.
Yes, and then that was when all the AM stations were going on, and then all of a sudden they started going away, and then you saw all the FM stations. Mm-hmm. K-Day went away for a while, and then it came back. But people would be like, oh, what you know about, K-Day, you young and this, and it's like, no, I grew up in it. My family's from Compton, California, so we either grew up in hip hop or oldies, so this is my genre. This is my culture. And that's why I embrace it. And that's why when I did make the stints at the other station, I came back to K-Day. because I have to work at a station that I really love. I have to work at a station where I respect the music and the artist.
Absolutely.
I can't fake the funk for money at all. Like, that's not even in my DNA.
Right.
Everybody knows it. Like, Cece stands 10 toes down no matter what.
Yeah.
So when I'm K-Day, this is my genre. And I think that's why I've survived, because I really love the music, the community, the people. And really what it is about radio is this. It's not about us. People think, oh, the radio personalities. It's not about us. It's about the music.
Right.
The listeners will fall in love with me through the music. That is our mutual relationship. So sometimes people get tired. It's like, oh, you're the star. No, the music is the star. And if you respect it, the city's going to respect you. So that's how I survived. And really just really, I keep it 100. You know that. I talk to everybody. I embrace it. And you just got to really love what you do. It is tough. It's cutthroat. You got to have tough skin, baby. And that's what I tell everybody. Like, listen, they say it, new levels, different devils. And it is what it is. But you got to understand, if you want to make it work in this industry, you have to block out the white noise. There's going to be white noise when you're coming up. And not everybody can come with you. And you got to understand that.
That's such an important
Not
piece
everybody's
to
going to come
remember.
with you.
Yeah.
Everybody has a purpose, and you could respect them and you can love them. But there's only going to be certain people that are going to move up in these different levels.
This is exactly what me and Eddie were talking about. And I'm not going to mention the artists, but some artists are coming in here and they're by themselves. Solo dolo, they come in there. Some are coming in with 20, 30 heads, mobbing deep. And I've told them, like, bro, if it was me, if I was a superstar, I'm not bringing in a squadron in of people. Like, I want to meet with my fans. I want to talk to them. I don't want anybody to be like, oh, well, he's not ready to speak right now.
Yeah, exactly. Don't do that, right? Exactly.
Not to shit on anyone, okay? But I went to Soundset in Minneapolis, okay? And Logic was at this bar, okay? So 60 East, shout out to 60 East. He goes, yo, you should go and talk to Logic, see if he'll give you a quick interview, bro. And I said, I'm like, he's like, go ahead and go talk. So I'm like, you know what? I'll go do it. So I walk up. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not meeting anyone new right now. I'm like, oh,
What?
oh, some dude, like, as he saw me walking up, he's like, no, we're good. He spoke for Logic. Like, that dude's job was to tell people, don't bug Logic. And I was like, oh, all right, these Spence out, right? I'm like, okay, forgive me. I don't ever want to be that guy.
No, don't. That's such a horrible way to be. Like, let me just say it. It's such a horrible way to be. Like, like that's the thing, too. I think because we were just, the way we're raised also, too, is like, you treat the janitor the way you're supposed to treat the CEO. You know what I mean? You treat everybody with respect. You acknowledge people, and people will show you love in return. And that's the thing, too. Like, whenever I do events and I host or if I'm working an event, I always literally, like, I travel, like, either by myself or with one or two people, and that's it. And I'm moving through it. So, and I stop for everybody. I stop and take a picture if they're asking for photos, if they want to talk to me. And one thing about me too, and I will say this, I'm gonna put you guys up on game right now. So listen to this. When people talk to me, I look at them. That's so important, because there's been many times where you've probably even experienced it. You're talking to somebody and they're like, and they're looking around. They're not even seeing you. So when I talk to listeners or fans, like, I tune everything out and I pay attention. You know what I mean? Because you're giving me your respect. I'm going to do that. And I don't look around. And that's something that's that's a detail that only certain people will notice.
Right.
You know, and we've all experienced it when we talk to somebody and an artist and you're like, dang, I'm over here talking to you. You ain't even looking at me, bro. Like, you looking past me. It's the rudest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing about me. And I think that's why too, like, people understand, like, when my name is very clean in this business, you know, but it's because, like, I literally just do my work. I go in, I do my job, and ya me voy.
And that's it. You're
That's
ready
it.
to go.
Yeah.
What about the aspect of approaching it from a Latina's perspective?
Ooh, yes. So, you know, that's a little harder because I'm Mexican and I love it. I love being brown. But sometimes a lot of people will question in the beginning. I don't get it anymore. But in the beginning, they question my knowledge of hip hop. There would be times where I had to fight a little harder to be heard because I'm Latina and I'm a woman. So I had to speak up louder and I had to be a little bit more aggressive, you know. But I think now people know who I am. I don't do it anymore. They respect it. It's already known without being said. But I had to prove myself. I had to, okay, I'll give you a story. I won't say what station, and I won't say the radio personalities. I was at a radio station. I got into it with somebody in promotions, and it was an argument about a certain situation. And I walked away, and my boss defended me at the time and said, Cece is the motherfucking LeBron James of this radio station. You don't tell her nothing. Like, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
So he's like, I told them, you're the motherfucking LeBron James of this station. They can't say nothing to you. Fíjate, I said, I'm the LeBron James of this station. I'm the lowest paid.
Ooh.
What's going on? I carry everything, and I'm the lowest paid. I was a female. So I had to sit there, and I had to really negotiate my pay. I had to really sit there, and I was across, the desk with CEOs, that own the company, and I had to tell them, like, this is my worth. And at one point, like, to get where I was at, there was a meeting that I had to have, and I was so nervous. But I called this meeting, and I wanted a certain amount of money, and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to leave until I get this money, but I know I needed to explain myself to them. They want to know why I want this amount. All right, fine. I sat there. I told them, this is what I do. These are my numbers. I'm born and raised. I'm not somebody that's came from out of state and I'm representing LA radio. I'm your motherfucking hometown hero. I get to do radio in my backyard. So that is something in itself. I'm born and raised in the LA culture. I also know this business. I'm out in the city the most. This is the money that I wanted. I was scared, bro. I'm not going to lie. I was scared. I was nervous. I was doubting myself. I was insecure about it, but I couldn't let them see me shake, right? But I was nervous. I got what I wanted. I walked out. Yeah. And I walked out cool as fuck. Cool. I was smooth. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. This is going to be good. Yada, yada, yada. Whoop-de-whoop. I got in your car. And the first thing I did was call my mama. I was like, Mama, I was so scared. She's like, Mija, you got this. Yeah. But I knew what I was. But at that time, it worked out because I think they respect you when they know who you are. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. I know how I want my brand to be. I know how I want to execute. It took a while to learn that. And there was a lot of men in radio that actually taught me that, though, too.
That is something that keeps reoccurring on this couch. People keep telling me, I know who I am. Planet Asia knows he's Planet Asia.
You gotta know
Phil
it, though.
the Agony knows he's Phil the Agony. So they know what that's worth also. That comes along with knowing what you're worth.
You know what's so crazy is there was one point in radio where I doubted myself and I was like, you know what? I was going through a transition. I didn't know if I wanted to do radio. There was one person that I wanted to talk to that I was like, this is going to determine whether I do radio again or not. And I remember telling Chris Lowe's, he was one of my PDs, I said, I don't want to talk to anybody in radio. Nobody. I want to talk to one person, Julio G. That's all I just wanted to talk to Julio G. That was it. And I sat down. We went to his show. Chris got me in there. I sat with him for 45 minutes. And that man just schooled me for 45 minutes and was like, see, don't you ever negotiate your integrity for nobody. If you feel like you have to sit there and compromise your integrity, get your ass up and you walk out the room. Yeah. And he literally, he doesn't understand too. Shout out to you, Julio G, that when he spoke to me for 45 minutes, he refueled everything in me as a Latino, as somebody who's good at their craft, as somebody that's highly respected, especially in LA. Like, he is highly respected by all the OGs. Yeah. So that really was like, that's why I say I'm not like, I do this, but I don't do it by myself. There are men out there that have pulled me aside and that have schooled me and helped me. Who recognized
the genius, who recognized the skills, and then they guided you a little bit. Now, let me ask you something. Now, this is not to put you on the spot.
No, go ahead.
Okay. As a terrestrial radio personality.
Yes.
How do you feel about podcasts? Now, this is why I'm saying it, okay? So I worked a stint myself at iHeartRadio, right there off Sherman Oaks, and it was fantastic. I got to work with Danny G. I got to work with Kim Iverson, who you might know. And it's a completely different world than podcasting, right? This allows me a lot of freedom that terrestrial radio kind of confines me. Right. It doesn't allow me to say certain things or even talk about certain things on a specific channels or stations. So I fell in love with podcasting because of the freedom.
Right, absolutely.
And also I am immediately responsible for my own success or for my own failure. There's no machine, and there's no radio, and there's no boss, and there's no PR. There's but no. It's like, Koncept did it, or you're not going to do it. You're going to get up, or you're not going to get up,
Right.
So how do we honestly feel about podcasting as a radio personality?
I don't really feel any which way about podcasting because it's different. You know, you just explained it. Like podcasts, you can sit down and you can have a whole conversation like this, and I can say some curse words that I really can't say on the radio. So I don't think it is. I think that if you have a podcast, you say you have a podcast, and I'm a podcaster, and this is what I do. It's different. I think what it gets a little blurry is when people start podcasting and now they call themselves a radio personality. You know, and it's like you're not a radio personality.
No. I run this bitch. You're not a radio personality.
You're not a radio
bro.
personality. You're a podcaster. So I think that's where it's different. But to me, it's like, I think people in radio at first, we didn't know how to take podcasting because it was something that was new. Just like when social media started, we didn't know how to take it, right? It was new. So it was something that was new. So we were kind of like, what is this? But now that we know it, it's completely different. It's not radio, you know? And I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying they're two completely different platforms. Now you have radio personalities that have podcasts. Now you have podcasters that are on the radio. So it could just bleed. What it is that radio and podcasting is an island. You're on an island right now, and you have a door to everything, to film, to television, to print, you know what I mean, to music, to artists. That's what it is. So you have something that's dope, but I mean, I don't feel any which way about it at all.
You don't view it as a competition?
Hell no. Listen, I can't view it as competition because can nobody be Cece? You can't, you're not my competition, and nor will you ever be my competition. I can't be you and you can't be me. That means we add different flavors to the table. So why should we even compete? We should complement each other. We should help each other. We should hustle together. It's a vibe.
And credit to you. This is not the first time you've been on my show.
That part.
You saw me and you said, yo, Koncept, what's up? Gave me a big hug. It wasn't like, this guy's a podcaster. He's trying to be me.
No.
He's trying to mimic me. You were like, yo, bro, how you been? How you doing? Wish you the best success, blah blah blah. Like, and it's always been love. I did Harvest, the 95K day. You guys do the Harvest. What is that? You know what I'm talking about?
You mean Crush Groove?
Yes. Crush Groove.
Or How the West is. We do Crush Groove. We do How the West is One. Yeah.
So I was invited out to that. And I was able to do my podcasting thing, and it was a great time. And it was Cece who said, yo, welcome. Yo, yes, please sit down. Here's this cat. Here's this dude. It was never well, you're podcasting. You're below me. You're little.
No,
We're like,
never.
You're that,
it's
you know.
not.
So I really
Listen,
appreciate
some
the
podcasters
love.
have more followers than some radio personalities. Let's keep it 100.
100%.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's just that there are some people that are like that, and they take it and they're very insecure and they're competitive. And then you got there's a lot of people like me that aren't competitive, and we embrace it.
Yeah.
Especially as a Latina, I know how hard it is for us to, you know, move together as people in LA. Like it's just, I always want to help out. Like we're Latinos. There's no reason why.
No,
you know
I appreciate
what I mean?
that.
We always need to hustle together.
Which is what I tell people. Being a Latino in hip hop has had so many. I also believe that it's open doors at the same time as it's closed doors.
Yeah.
Like I feel like if I was black, maybe my level of success would be different because they would be more welcoming. They'd be more nurturing to the guy asking them questions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I honestly do think that once they get to sit on the couch, and then I get going, they're like, oh. He's a head. He's a hip hop head. He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then you can see their walls kind of just like, all right, let's talk. I'm talking to somebody who knows the culture.
Yeah. And,
So
I think as Latinos in hip hop, like we don't want much. Sometimes we just want a head nod just to acknowledge what we've done. That's it. And sometimes that's all it takes is a head nod.
That's it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so easy. But no, there's no competition. And I always tell people that too. I'm like, look, I was like, no matter how hard you try, I promise you're never going to be me. But how hard I try, I'll never be you.
Yeah.
Like everybody has their own like flavor. Like everybody has their own flavor. Like that's all we could do is just sauce it up together.
So, people, Cece the Mamacita here on Wake the Flok Up again. We're back to basics, people. So, what are we doing here at Back to Basics, Cece?
Okay,
What's going on?
so I just introduced Sick Jackin. I'm hanging out with Medusa. I'm trying to figure out like who I'm going to bring out somebody next, but I am just here vibing with all the hip hop heads. It's in Long Beach. It's going down. I'm telling you right now, I love seeing everybody get together, and it's like a family reunion when you do shows like this.
Absolutely. We're treating us like family, so we got more interviews coming up here on Wake the Flok Up, Back to Basics, Backstage. Peace.
And congratulations on
Thank
everything
you.
you're doing, cabron.
Oh, I
I'm so proud of you.
appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank
man,
you,
you're doing big
Cece.
things. Let's go.
I'm doing it for the culture. I'm doing it for myself.
Yeah.
But just because I love it. And I'm just so excited to meet. I get to meet Phil the Agony. I get to meet Master Ace, bro. Like, come on.
Master Ace,